Rغوان remembered stories about being surrounded by wolves in the woods and winter and the feeling people had at those moments. With so many dogs, there was nothing even these strange cats could do. Until now, it was this cat that had fought for him. Kate and Kیمیا watched these scenes with amazement. They were holding each other's hands. Their daughters were fighting for them. Nina aimed at the cage from the stairs and threw it at her with all her strength. The key slid a little on the ground and stopped near the cage. Kیمیا lay down on the floor of the cage, reached for the key and tried to grab it, and finally grabbed it and pulled it towards her. She went to the lock and opened it, then shouted, "Hurry up and get into the cage." Nina jumped off the closest distance between the stairs and the ground, her leg aching. She got to Rغوان's side. They started to back away, facing the dogs. The cats stood between them and the dogs to give them a chance to retreat. Nina and Rغوان ran into the cage as soon as they got close to it. Kیمیا immediately locked the door, moved away from the bars, and went to the end of the cage. The cats disappeared, and the dogs rushed to the cage and slammed themselves hard against it. The angry dogs kept banging their jaws together and instead of barking, they growled. Nina took her father's cell phone number. She heard her father's voice. "Hello, Nina. Are you okay? Speak up. Girl. I'm fine, Mom is with me and she's fine, we're all fine. We're stuck here, we've been surrounded by a bunch of dogs, they're really scary, help us," Parker said. "We're going to be hit by lightning from every direction we come from. One of the police cars caught fire. We can't do anything. Pray that God will help you. You're giving the phone to your mom." Nina handed the phone to Kate. "Hello, Kevin. I'm glad to hear your voice. You're a brave girl. You weren't here. It was wonderful." Kevin replied, "My God, Kate. I'm glad to hear your voice. Are you okay? Is something wrong with you? I'm sorry I can't come help you. I love you so much." "Me too. I love you." Kímia looked at the tear and wound on Rغوان's back and said, "What now? That woman can't be found to drive these dogs away and tell us what she wants from us." Clara and Sandy came to our side. They got out of their cat form. "Trish joined us too," Sandy said. "It was very difficult. With this limitation, there wasn't much that could be done. But they were brave girls nonetheless." Clara said, "If it weren't for us, who knows what would have happened to them." "Trish, you've gone too far. Where did you get all those dogs? You should be afraid of me. You're more of a devil than a snake." Trish smiled. "Well, I'm a devil. Do you have this doubt? What are you going to do?" "Derwin," I said. "Getting a passing grade. It's better than getting out of this situation for fear of something bad happening to them. Do you see that policewoman? She was in the incident that night on 19th Street. Her name is Miller. Take her to the girls to save them, Clara and Sandy. This is your job. Make sure she has the right weapon." They became invisible and went towards the police forces. Sandy went to the cars and Clara went to Miller, grabbed Miller's hands and pulled her towards the narrow road. Miller shouted, "What's going on here? Let me go. Who are you and where are you taking me?" Everyone turned to Miller, whose hands were tied behind his back like those of an arrested person, and who was being pushed forward despite resistance. No one was visible. One of the officers dared to go to her to help her, but he was thrown into a corner with a blow. Kevin said, "What the hell are we in exactly?" Serena said in surprise. Someone grabbed her hands from behind. "Did you see how that officer was thrown?" Miller could not resist the force that was pushing her forward and stopped resisting. Her hands were freed. An automatic assault rifle came towards her and hit her in the chest. Miller grabbed the weapon in disbelief. She felt this force on both sides of her. They were holding her hands. Miller went with them to find out where they were taking her. She entered a large hall. Seeing the dogs and people in the cage, HSHE froze. The forces were taken from her hands. Miller realized that she had been allowed to save the hostages. The dogs turned towards her. She said to herself, "Well, girl, now you have to show yourself." She put the gun on the burst, turned on the laser of the gun and aimed at the forehead of one of them and started shooting. The sound of the gun filled the air. The dogs were falling to the ground. Serena said, "God help them." I said, "Do you also call on God in your happiness? Whenever you are miserable, you remember Him. But it's not bad. Your daughter accepted, and that's what matters." After the last dog fell, Miller took a deep breath, his face wet with sweat and his finger still on the trigger. He walked cautiously towards the cage, his eyes watching the dogs, the stairs, and his surroundings. He reached the cage and looked at them. The girls were injured and some of their clothes were torn, but they were safe and on their feet. "Miller, I'm glad you're safe. You two were great." Kimiya opened the cage door and they all got out. They walked through the dead dogs. In the corner by the exit, 2 cats were waiting for them and meowed when they saw them. Nina and Argavan looked at each other and smiled, then bent down and hugged them. The cats seemed heavier and bigger than before. They joined the others with Sergeant Miller.